Alright, so welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're going to go ahead and start working on all of the connections for our head. Now, as a note, this may be a little bit time consuming, so definitely if you feel overwhelmed, you can go ahead and pause the video and continue, but let's go ahead and get started here. First thing that we want to do here is I want to go ahead and bring in another set of control curves that are going to control the rotation of what is going to be the eyelids. And so what I want to go ahead and do here is just jump up to one of our control makers, and I'm not really going to drag this on the screen for you guys to see the control that I'm going to go ahead and make here, but I'm just going to go ahead and create one real quick, and it'll be fairly simple, so go ahead and just create that. That might not actually work for what we want right now. I'll just use my rigging tool, and we'll just use a simple circle locator here, and we will go ahead and just hold down V, snap this to the model real quick, and we'll just try and place this properly here. And we're basically just going to use this to control the rotation of the eyelid, so we'll go ahead and center the pivot on that one, call this CC left eye lid, and we will just go ahead here and duplicate this over, and oops, I forgot to actually hit Control D there. Use that for the right eyelid as well. Okay, making sure that we center the pivot on that, and we will just simply go ahead and change the color on those. Obviously the right one's going to be red, the left one here is going to be blue. Okay, and we will just simply parent this to what is the actual eye main part geometry. Do the same thing here for the other one, and parent that. Okay, so now you can see in our channel box that we're going to have left lid rotate X, Y, and Z, and we're going to go ahead and connect these two control curves. So the easy way to go ahead and do that here, we'll just come up to Window, General Editors, our connection editor. Okay, and let me go ahead and just try and get this on screen here. With the master eye control selected, we'll go ahead and reload the left, and you're going to see that they're going to come in here at the bottom. Select the control curve, making sure that the center pivot and stuff's all cleared out here. Okay, go ahead and reload that on the right, and we're going to connect the lid rotate X, Y, and Z to the rotate of this object. Okay, so left lid rotate X, left lid rotate Y to the rotate Y, left lid rotate Z to the rotate Z. Okay, do the same thing here for what is going to be the right one, so we'll connect the right lid rotate X to the rotate X, right lid rotate Y to the rotate Y, right lid rotate Z to the rotate Z. Okay, so now if we select our master eye controller, you're going to see that this is going to rotate. They might not rotate enough, so we're going to have to edit that a little bit here. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and select our master eye controller, come up to edit attribute, and it'll bring up your edit attribute window here. So we'll take the left lid rotate X and add an actual minimum and max value here. So we want -25 and 25, just so that this is going to give us a little bit extra. Okay, so we'll do the Z here, and then we'll come up and do the left lid rotate X one as well. So -25 and 25, -25 and a +25. Okay, -25 and a +25. Okay, now that those attributes have been edited, you can see that we have a lot more control there. Okay, so let's go ahead here and delete this second layer. We're going to add some eye geometry to a layer so that we can select our eyelids just that much easier now. Okay, so let's go ahead and start adding the connections for what is going to be our eye zoom, our blanks, and everything else here. Okay, so let's just bring these back and we'll go ahead and template these out. Let's come up to our animation menu set, come to animate, set driven key, set. Okay, and I'm going to basically just try and get this in the window here so that you guys can see what we're doing. Okay, and then we'll select this. Just making sure that we select these NURB spheres. And then in the inputs tab, just select the make NURB sphere 3. Load those as the driven. Okay. Load our master eye controller as the driver. And we're going to be doing the both blank here. Okay. Making sure that we key on the start and the end sweep of those NURB spheres. Okay. So we'll go ahead and key those. Take our eyes main. Take both of our blinks. Set this to 10. Take our NURB spheres, change our start and end sweep here. So now you can see that it's going to blink. Go ahead and key that. Reselect our master eye controller, and now you can see that our eyes do blink. Okay. So now we just need to go start doing it for the left blink here. So we'll just reselect our left eye NURB sphere. Okay. Reload that as the driven. Okay, change this to the left blink here. Okay, we're going to key the start and the end sweep again. So we'll key that. Select our eyes main. Take our left blink and set this to 10. Select our NURB sphere. Okay, change our start and the end sweep here. Go ahead and key that. And you can see that that moves as well. Okay. Do the same thing here for the right eyelid. The start and sweep, making sure that we select our right blink. Go ahead and key that. Select our eyes main. Take our right blink, turn that up to 10. The NURB sphere, we'll go ahead here and adjust our start and end sweep here. Go ahead and key that. And now that's going to be working, as you can see there. Okay, so let's take our left eye top here, select our make NURB sphere, load that as the driven, making sure that we select our left eye top. And I think it's the end sweep here, so we want to key on the end sweep. Okay, so leaving it at 276 for the left eye top 0, we'll go ahead and key that. Just want to make sure that I did the right one there. Okay, so we'll take our eyes main, left eye top, turn this up to 10, make NURB sphere 2, take our end sweep, go ahead and close that, key that. Now you can see that that works. Okay, do our right eye top here, and we want to do it on the end sweep again. Okay, go ahead and key that. Our right eyes, or our eyes main, we'll go ahead and change our right eye top, turn that up to our maximum of 10 there. Take our end sweep, go ahead and set that to 360, and we will go ahead there and key that. And then we'll come back here and make sure that this works as well, as you can see. Okay, go ahead and do our left eye bottom. Reload the make NURB sphere 2 as our driven shape, and we're going to now be keying the start sweep. And just to make sure that we do that, you can see where the start sweep is going to control our bottom. Okay, so we want to go ahead and key that. Select our eyes main, left eye bottom, go ahead and move that to 10. Take our start sweep, go ahead and push that out to 0. We'll key that. Doing the same thing here for now what is going to be the right eye. Okay, selecting that make nerve sphere 3, and we'll go ahead and load that as the driven, making sure that we select the right connection here is the right eye bottom in the start sweep, and just want to make sure that's moving, so we'll go ahead and key that. Okay, select the right eye bottom, move that to 10, select your nerve sphere, move that out for your right eyelid, go ahead and key that. So now that's going to work, as you can see. Okay, so both eye tops now. Go ahead and select these both again. Load those as the driven. And I think it's going to be the end sweep here. So we want to key it on the end sweep. So go ahead and key that. Go back to our eyes main. Take both eye tops. Turn this out to 10. Select the make nerve sphere 2 and 3. Go ahead and adjust our end sweep here to 360. Go ahead and key that. So now those both work. Okay. Go ahead back to our eyes main here. We want to select both eye bottoms, and we'll key this on the start sweep. Okay, so go ahead and key that. Select our eye main. Go back to both eye bottom. Change this to 10. Go ahead and key our start sweep here, and we'll go ahead and key that. And now you can see that those both work as well. Okay. Now I'm not going to go ahead and do the anger and the anger top and the anger bottom here for the moment, because I still have to make some geometry for this. So let's go ahead here and do our eye zoom control. And basically what that is going to be a blend shape. Okay, so we want to select our two eye geometries here. Go ahead and just duplicate these. Okay. Making sure that we go ahead and center the pivots and clear the history on those, so that our pivots are going to be in the center here. And we'll have to go ahead and delete those. Okay, so let's go ahead and reduplicate these, and we'll just go into our top view here and make our blend shape for our eyes. So just selecting like right in the middle of the eye shape, we'll go ahead and pull that out, and just making sure that we do the same thing here for the right eye. Okay, go ahead and pull that out as well, and we just want to basically make sure that those match the right length. Okay, that looks fine. So let's go ahead here and select our left eye blend shape, and we're going to attach it to our left eye pupils, or our left eye main shape here. So come up to create deformers, blend shape, select our option box, and we'll name this L underscore I underscore zoom. Okay, do the same thing here for what is the right eye. So we'll just simply change that L to an R. Okay, and making sure that those are actually going to work, you can just simply come up to Window, Animation Editors, your blend shape, and go ahead and move it, and you can see where those actually work. Same thing here for the right eye, as you can see. So go ahead and take that back, select our eye master control, and you can see that we only have one attribute for that. I want to add another attribute so that we can control them both independently. Okay, so we'll just come over to modify, add attribute, go ahead and use a float here, and we'll call this left eye zoom, and say something like minimum of 0, maximum should probably be like 10, default 0. Do this for the right eye zoom as well, and minimum is going to be 0, maximum is going to be 10, default will be 0. So now if we go ahead and look in our right side, that our attributes are right there. Okay, so we're just going to use that same process that we used to edit and modify our blinks, we're simply going to use the same process to go ahead and do our eye zooms here. Okay, so we'll come up to animate, set driven key set, and we're going to, with our eye master control selected, select the driver, select that as our driver. In our blend shape window, we'll select our left eye zoom, load that as the driven, and we're going to be keying the Bender Geo Good Poly Surface 34 as that's the weight for our blend shape. So we'll select the eye zoom and the Bender Good surface, so we'll go ahead and key that. Let me go ahead and just move this blend shape window off screen here. Go ahead and select our eyes main, take our left zoom all the way out to 10, take our eye zoom for our Bender eye, go ahead and change that out to 1, go ahead and key that, go ahead and reselect our eyes master control, and now you can see where this is going to be zooming in and out. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here for what is going to be our right eye zoom. So we'll go ahead and select it from our blend shape window, load that as the driven. Okay, making sure that we select our right eye zoom here. Okay, we'll go ahead and key that. Select our eyes main, come down to a right eye zoom, change that out to 10. Right eye zoom, Bender Geo Good Poly Surface 33. Go ahead and move that out to 1. Go ahead and key that. So now you can see where we have the right eye working and the left eye working. And you're going to be able to do this independently as well. And you can always, make the connection here for the left eye zoom, but since we just done the other two, so we can just go ahead and delete the attribute for that. Okay, so we'll just come up to modify, delete attribute, eye zoom, and we'll just go ahead and delete that. Okay, now you'll also notice here that I actually don't have any textures on Bender, and I did this specifically because I want to have an animated texture inside of Maya for Bender's eyes. So this is going to be a little bit complex to go ahead and do here, and let's just jump into our hypershade here. Okay, and let me go ahead and create 2 V-Ray materials here, and this is where it's going to get a little bit important because we need to make sure that we name these correctly. So let's rename this one left eye texture. Okay, rename this one to the right eye texture. Okay, and also after doing that I need to add 2 controls here as well. So add attribute, and these are going to be an integer attribute. So we'll call this left eye scroll, and we want a minimum of 1, maximum of 8, default of 0. Go ahead and add that. Go ahead and do for the right eye as well. And a minimum of 0, maximum of 8, default of 0. Go ahead and add that as 1. Okay. And you can see where these are going to end up on the 1 whenever I adjust those. Okay. So now let's go ahead here and bring in our textures. So let's apply our left eye texture here, apply our right eye texture here. I need to go and bring in 2 different file nodes here. Okay, and let me go ahead and just try and maximize the workspace here so that we can see what we're doing. So we'll select this file, 1 node, hit Control A, and we're going to go ahead and bring in our left eye texture 001, and you can see where we have a corresponding number framed here, so it's like 1 through 8, and these are going to be animated textures for our eye. So we'll go ahead and apply this one for our left eye, making sure that we bring in the other one here for our right eye texture as well. Go ahead and open that one as well. Drag this one into our left eye texture. Drag this one into our right eye texture's diffuse color slot. Go ahead and hit 6 on our keyboard and you can see that that updates. Okay, so also want to go ahead here and set up our material so that it's going to be reflective. Number on that one, 0.081, so we'll just make sure that we get the same here. Okay, just turn the subdivisions up to something like 16, should be good for us. Okay. So now, what I want to go ahead and do here is set up our keyframe animation for those eyes, and that's before I go and check the use image sequence. If we check it before we actually set the keyframes, it won't update correctly. Okay, so what I want to go ahead and do here is just select our eyes master control, come up to animate, set driven key set. Okay, load this as a driver, and we're going to be using the left eye scroll, and then we're going to take our file 1 node here, load this as the driven, and we're going to be doing the frame extension and the frame offset. Okay, so we'll go ahead and key this, take our eyes main, take our left eye scroll, turn this all the way out to 8, take our file 1 node, take our frame offset and set this to 8. Go ahead and key that. Do the same thing here for our right eye texture. Let me just make sure, go ahead and change this left eye scroll back to 1. Okay. Gonna go ahead and reload in for our right eye there. Frame offset, left eye or right eye scroll. Go ahead and key that. Okay. Take our eyes main, take our right eye scroll all the way out to 8. Take our file 2 node, which is our right eye texture, set that to 8. Go ahead and key that. So now making sure that we have both of these selected, go ahead and change those both out to 8. Okay, you're going to see where the frame offset on both of those are going to be 8, as you can see there, and that's going to correspond to our texture being animated through the image sequence. So I can go ahead and close that set driven key window. Just go into the attribute here for our image sequence. We'll go ahead and make sure that we check use image sequence, and you can see that this turns black, and that's okay. That just means that it's going to take a little while to go ahead and update here. For our file 2 node, I want to make sure that I check that as well. Okay, so selecting our eye texture there, we'll go ahead and scroll these back to 1. Now it should be noted that this isn't necessarily going to update in the window here, but you can see where that texture has actually changed for the eyes, at least for the left eye, and the right eye is going to also do the same. If I can go ahead and just simply change this to the same number there, you can see where both of those textures have changed properly. Okay, so now we're going to be able to actually animate the eyes texture. So I'll just go ahead and turn these back to 1 here, and it just takes a little bit to actually update there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we can delete the blend shapes there from our perspective view for our eyes. Just making sure that these are going to still work, as you can see. Okay, now what we want to go ahead and do here is add our aim constraints for our eyes, and you can see that when we move this, our aim constraints aren't actually moving our eyes, and that's because we haven't added them yet. So let's go ahead and select our left eye pupil control, go ahead and select our eye geometry, constraint. Let's take a look at our option box, and we just mainly want to make sure that our maintain offset is on. Go ahead and hit apply. Do the same thing here for the right one, hit G. So now our eyes are going to move, and you can see where they're going to rotate, and our eye zooms are also going to work. So whoa, change that back to 0 there, and we'll go ahead and 0 those controllers out. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that our pupil control here, or our eyelid controls here, are working. So if we come down to our these, you can see that these are working. Okay, so we just need to go ahead and change these two back to 0, making sure that we select our left eyelid. We'll go ahead and parent it to our curve. Same thing here for the right eyelid, just parent it to that curve. Okay, so now if we come down here for the blink, just change that down a little bit, select those vector controls. You can see where these now move as well. Okay, you can bring that back, and it also moves along with our head. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn those back, and let's go ahead and work on our mouth connection here. Now you can see where Bender's mouth is one main geometric piece, and to deform this we aren't going to be using a texture, but we're going to be using a sign deformer here. So let me go ahead and close my hypershade so that we can get this. So with our geometry selected, we'll just come up to our deformation shelf, select our sign deformer here. Okay, and we'll just need to go ahead and adjust the attributes of it here. There's no real specific number that I'm going to use here. You just have to simply adjust what you want. The amplitude is probably way too high there. I think we need something like 0.02 if I remember correctly. No, 0.03. Let's take this 0.06. That's too high, so let's go out to 0.03. You want to get at least enough of the waves in there so that the teeth are going to be, animated properly. Try 0.02 for the amplitude. And that looks like it works well. Okay, so hit 4, and we need to go ahead and rotate our sign deformer here. And we're just going to rotate this in the Z direction 90 degrees. Okay, hit 5, and now you can see where that shape is actually working a lot better. Okay, so we need to go ahead and create another curve for this. And I'm just simply going to create a curved arrow here, as well as a cross. Okay. You can see where we have those two shapes in here. Oh. Okay, minus 45. And we'll go ahead and center the pivot there, and we'll just simply rotate this as well. Okay, select our cross, go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees. Okay, select these two, go ahead and just move them up here, and we'll just simply place these right in front of the mouth here, just making sure that we scale them down. I just want to go ahead and place this right in the middle of it so we know exactly what's what here. Okay, go ahead and select those two, and we'll just go ahead and combine these two shapes. And I'm just using a script to go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and change the color of it to something like yellow or green. Green will probably work a little bit better here. Okay, center the pivot, freeze the transformation on this, and we'll call this CC mouth talk. Okay, and just make sure that I place this properly here. Okay, and we need to simply select our sign deformer, select our mouth control, hit P so that that's now going to be a parented shape. Oops, selected the wrong one there. Making sure that I go in and actually select the sign deformer. Okay, select our mouth controller, hit P, and now you can see where if we move that, our mouth shape is going to work, but it's also going to work in terms of scaling. Okay, I'm going to leave that sign deformer shown for right now. Just in case you want to edit it later on down the road, you can go ahead and do that. So we'll just go ahead and move this over here. Okay. Now, let's say, for instance, that you have Bender who has been known to drink a few beers in the cartoon Futurama. We want to add a different mouth shape that's actually going to be animated so that he can actually drink a beer. To do that, I want to go ahead here and just select our headmaster control. We'll go ahead and add another attribute to this as well, and it'll be an enumerated value. Okay, so we'll call this main, or we'll actually call this talking teeth. Okay, change the green here to off, change the blue to on, and add that. And we'll just add another one as drinking teeth. Call this off, and blue should be on. Okay, so go ahead and add those. Now you can see that we have those in our channel box. So we'll come up here and select our headmaster control, come to Window, General Editors, Connection Editor, reload that as our left, and then we'll select our teeth master control and also our teeth, and we'll reload that to the right here. Okay, come down here to talking teeth, and we'll just add a visibility control on both of those. So now that those are gone, you can see that we have this turned off, and those are our talking teeth. So if you want to go ahead and turn those back on, you can, but for right now I'm going to go ahead and turn those off, because I'm going to go ahead and bring in another version of our teeth, which are going to be our drinking teeth. Okay, so they're animated, and you can see here. Okay, so going into my channel box here, or our outliner here, these are our beer drinking teeth. So I'm just going to go ahead and rename this to beer drinking teeth. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and move that off the screen there. And with that group selected, turn our geometry back here so that we can select it. And we're just going to simply parent that entire group to the head. Okay, so now you're going to see where that entire group and control are going to move with the head. Okay, so now let's go back and turn these teeth on and off. So we want to select our main head control here, General Editors, Connection Editor, reload that in the left with our beer drinking teeth here. I just need to go ahead and into our outliner and select those, or you can just simply select these in the perspective view here, and just basically move those down. We'll reload those into the right control. Okay, and we will take our drinking teeth and connect that to our visibility, and you can see where those completely turn off as well. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and turn those on, you can, and those are going to be animatable and keyable as well. But they also have a smooth control here for the teeth. So if you want to drink a beer, you can go ahead and bring that into the scene, and animate those as well. So we'll go ahead and turn that to our animation level. Go ahead and turn those off. turn our talking teeth on here. You can also see where if we parent our control here to our head control, you can see where those are now going to rotate along with the model. Okay. And the last thing I'll do here for what is going to be the head is we're going to do our head spin Y controller. Okay, so to animate that, let's come up here to animate, set driven key, set, and we will go ahead and load that as the driver. Load our head master control here as the driven, and we're going to be rotating in the Y direction. So do our head spin here. Go ahead and key that. Take our head spin Y controller, turn this all the way out to 25. Take our rotate Y here to like 1024. We'll actually probably need just a little bit more here. Okay. 1085 is probably good there, so we'll go ahead and key that. Take our body main, head spin Y control to negative 25 here, and our CC head to negative 1085. Go ahead and key that. So now if we go ahead and select our head control here, and our body control here, and spin our head, you can see that our head is going to be spinning. Okay, so go ahead and turn that back to 0, and that'll conclude the lesson here for our head and for our teeth controls, and we've set up all those controls. And in the next lesson we'll go ahead and come back and start working our way through the rest of the body.